Now we're getting into multiplication properties of exponents. The objective here is to use multiplication properties of exponents to evaluate and simplify expressions. When in doubt, write it out. That's the thing about these properties of exponents. They can get tricky and very confusing real fast. But if you write it out, it makes things less complicated. So some warm-up problems. Write out what each means in terms of multiplication. So if you look, this first one here, x squared times y to the third power, that simply means take x, multiply it twice, and then take y and multiply it 3 times. So when in doubt, write it out. Let's try the next one. Number 2. This says 2x to the third power in parentheses. Whatever is in parentheses, it's asking me to multiply it by itself 3 times. So that's how you would write that one. Number 3, notice the difference between number 2 and number 3. Number 2 had parentheses, number 3 does not. Without the parentheses, this simply says, hey, take 2 and multiply it by 3 x's. So some of the stuff you'll be seeing as we move forward, these basic example problems will remain true throughout all of the problems. So here the answers are already provided for you. However, we're going to go through each individual one, and we'll just kind of talk through them. So this one simply says, hey, number 1, take x squared and multiply that by x to the 4th power. When in doubt, write it out. So here's my x squared, x times 4 x's. So how many x's do I have total? I have x to the 6th power. X to the 6th power. Let's take a look at the number 2. This says, hey, take d to the 4th power and multiply it by d to the, what power is that? 1. D to the 1 power. So here we go. D to the 4th power. D times d times d times d times 1 more d make a total of 5 d's. So that's a common theme when you are multiplying exponents, or when you are multiplying using the properties of exponents, you will end up adding the exponents, which you don't need to worry about if you just simply write them all out. Let's look at something like this. 3x squared times 4x squared. That simply says, hey, 3 times x times x times x. Multiply that by 4 times x times x. So simply take the numbers, multiply them together. 3 times 4 is 12. And then we take the x's, and when in doubt, write them out. We have how many x's total? We have 5 x's total. Let's keep going. X squared to the 4th power simply says, hey, take whatever's in parentheses and multiply that 4 times. So x squared times x squared times x squared times x squared. And again, write them out. What does x squared even mean? It's x squared means x times x. Well, how many sets of that do we have? We have 4 sets of x squares, making a total of 8 x's. So again, guys, I want you to now go and try the taco assignment, and I want you to focus on writing everything out.